Hello. If you are hoping to generate stories and you're a bit stuck, one of the best ways you might be able to do that, surprisingly, is by thinking about still images. And why would a still image help you to create a story? Because by the act of describing it, you start to introduce some words that prompt thoughts about what do those words mean, what do they imply. So, for example, if you're looking at this image right now of this man, me, and you start to describe it, you say he's got glasses, he's got a hole in his jumper, he's got some pictures on the wall, and there's a door, and there seems to be some sort of blackboard here. So once you start naming those things, the words themselves start to create stories in your head. What do you make of the hole in the jumper? What story does that imply? What about the glasses and the blackboard and the door and the pictures? One of the inspirations for using static images to create and generate words that will perhaps prompt a story came to me when I thought about the words that are applied to drawings on the internet for people who are visually impaired. This is an example. Hazy drawing of roadside fruit shop with blue awnings, stacked crates outside with bright stripes of colour depicting different fruits, smudged interior, person walking by with a shopping trolley. Now that is called alt text. So I turned that into an exercise. I asked people to describe family photos that I can't see unless they tell me what I'm seeing. Your drawing skill is really not the question here. By attempting to recreate a scene in her memoir, Viv, working with me, came up with this drawing of a cafe, a rather disappointing cafe in the Hebrides, where she was with her daughter. And this was going to be the last chapter in Viv's memoir. And so what I did was very simply say, Viv, tell me what it was like in that place. And gradually, painstakingly, we pieced together a sense of the place. It was raining outside the window. Viv was sitting opposite her daughter. There would have been some kind of book. Maybe it was a guidebook. I can't remember because it was a while ago we did this. And there was a picture on the wall of something shining, maybe a cityscape. Anyway, we drew it carefully in order to elicit the stories that lay behind that image. Laura wanted to do a map of the kitchen where she grew up, and we did this very rudimentary drawing. You can see that this is not about being a great artist. But by drawing the floor plan and these figures moving around it, we remembered things that had happened, like the great tomato explosion. And that's where the cookbooks were. And Laura was 13. It was his domain. So this was a story about one man's space, and we made a map in order to fill out the stories in it. This one is a picture I drew with Kath, who was working on a scene in her book, and she needed her main character, this man, to get up and go outside. I don't remember the details about why Kath wanted that to happen, but she couldn't come up with a good explanation or a good reason why he would do that. So we drew the static scene, the image of the room where he woke up. A letter on the bed, there'd be a packet of tobacco to roll cigarettes, there would be a crucifix on the wall, there would be a cupboard with coat hangers. Nothing terribly complicated, but each of those things provided a clue as to what might make this man get up and go out. So by putting a picture into words, you start to generate the possibility of a story. I really hope you found this interesting and useful, and I hope even more that you will join me at Arvon for the online writing course.